in a month's time, at the time I film this, this is supposed to be on track at Oulton Park for the Javelin Sprint Series. So after a year and a bit, maybe 2 years of it not working, it drives now. Brakes are rubbish. You need to sort the rear brakes out, that's why it's jacked up in the air. New discs, new pads, probably new caliper, new bleed nipples. Do all that, then we can bleed it all up. Hopefully it actually stops, and then we can figure out everything else that needs to be fixed before that in 28 days time. Another thing that needs to get fixed is the bonnet catch is broken, so as soon as I close this and lock it, you can't open it again, which is a problem. Aside from those two things, it might just be a case of full send. Right, so we had a successful little test drive. Part of the last video, the brake caliper nipples rounded off, so took the opportunity to take the discs off, which were absolutely knackered anyway, get some new discs. Here's one of the very rounded nipples. This caliper, I think this nipple is cross-threaded into it, so I've got a new one in here, which is all clean and shiny. And then I got some new Vallejo discs, which did not come with bearings in the middle. So I had to get a local garage to press out the old bearings off the old crusty discs and put these ones in. So hopefully that's all fine. And we have to do all of this without power tools because the baby is asleep. So we keep an eye on that there. So yeah, let's get these done. We also have some new bleed nipples from Big Red. Not an advert, but very helpful, very modestly priced, and super quick delivery. Just put your reg in, or your car make, it tells you everything you need. And these look significantly better than what's on there. Right, so disc is on, caliper carrier is on. Handbrake cable is disconnected. That was a crusty fight to get it out of that hole. So now I just need to take off the brake pipe, which looks pretty grim as well. So I'm sure this will be stacks of fun. And then we can replace it, hopefully, with this. So this is a Ridex. I'm not gonna lie, it was dirt cheap, so it'll probably be terrible, but it will do for now. The official one's a TRW. I think this was £20. The TRW ones were 60 or 70. But it's going to be better than the others. A little spring on there. As long as that just to keep it in place during shipping. Okay. Right. Let's try and get this crossed over. Right, here goes nothing. This is probably going to drip everywhere actually. Because whilst I've not fully bled these, they are at least have something in them. So I just want to get this one attached and in the new one. These always take longer than you think they're going to take. Yeah, this is definitely crusty, but it is coming undone. There's brake fluid in it. Alright, here we go. Right. We'll just do a quick sanity of these two parts. They do look pretty identical. Do not cross the disc, go straight away. Trust in the do it finger tight method to check it's not cross-threaded. There you go. Nip it up. Beautiful. There we go. Right. Success. Right, this handbrake cable is very crusty. I'm going to feed that through there, hook it in. I'm not sure this spring's supposed to be on here or not. So we'll take it off. That slid in there, absolutely no problem. So, pads are in, got some copper grease on. Let's try and put it all together. Oh, we've also got the new slide nut bolts things as well. No, I'm not sure. After Googling some of them, they all seem to have it, but neither of my sides had it. So maybe they break, maybe people run without them. But either way, that is beyond tight, so I can't actually do that. This is all in place anyway, so that's all good to go. So we're going to go do the other side, which is just a disc and pads. Right, so we've done this one. Zoom out a bit. This one. This bleed nipple needs replacing as well. As you can see, this side has an out on there. Do that, we'll replace it with a new one, and we'll twist the caliper back a little bit to get it to fit the new thicker disc, and that will be rear discs done. Had to risk it all with the impact just to whack that one out there because it was horribly full. That's got a load of crud in there. Lovely. We'll try and get all that out before we'll do the next one. Right, do the next one. What we're talking about? Oh, skin texture. Put the replacements in. Right, that one's in. And hopefully not leaking. Good for another few years, maybe. Right, so now we've done all that, we need to bleed the brakes. So I have my ghetto bleeding setup in place, which is just a tube with a one-way valve in it, and then we crack the new bleed nipple on this side, which should be really easy. I just can't remember what size it is. 11. I'll just turn it the right way. There we go. And then we should be able to pump it a bit and see the brake load come through. There we go. Don't know if you can see that on camera. And do that until no more air bubbles come through. Which appears to be the case now. And tying that back up again. One done. Right, sort of frustratingly, the bleed nipple on this side, because it came with caliper, is a 10mm one, whereas the other side is 11, but whatever. Principle's the same. Alright, so that's starting to fill with fluid. I filled the master cylinder reservoir up at the front, so we're just going to do all this again, except for I can't see what it's doing, so I'm just going to pump it loads and keep coming and checking. Right, I think that is good. Let's look at the 10 mil. Tighten back up. There we go. That is hopefully good to go now. Right, so consensus is it should really be on there, but I don't have one on the other side, and it's so tight I can't actually put an handbrake cable on. So I'm going to take it off for now, so at least it's equal, and then probably in the future get a spring for the other side as well and redo it all. But for now, we're going to pinch these off, which I cannot do one-handed holding a camera. All done, and maybe it would have worked with the spring on, but basically I ended up using a torque wrench on that nut to compress it, because there's absolutely no way a human could pull that by hand. And now I think that's tight enough that it thinks the handbrake's on, which is going to be fun. So maybe it was a bit too tight to start with. As you can see, it's already like a little bit on, so maybe I have to go all the way back under there and adjust the handbrake again. Should be fun. There it is. Now as tight as the other side is by default. So well, it helps if I can actually put my foot on it. Oh good lord, that's stiff now. That's not going anywhere. If I can actually have it. Yeah. Maybe it's good. Maybe. We'll jack it down. Well, I need to put in all the missing exhaust shield clips that are pretty rusty. But we'll get it going. Back on the ground. The battery was completely flat, so I guess I've got a drain somewhere. Nice cold day. Right, next up, I think the back half, I think from here backwards, we're all good to go. Aside from putting the bumper back on properly. Now it's just intercooler and bonnet. So a recap on the things we need to do. We need to fix the coolant bottle in place, fix the ECU in place. That could do with being better. This one needs to be tightened back on. Gold, wrap that. Need to connect that pull up to the cut off, even though it's not cutting off yet, it's just annoying me that it's loose. Respray the bumper, fix the bumper back on. Need to put this on the other side, clean out all of this, paint that, fix this back on. I think the exhaust, the center section I'm going to wrap just for safety because it's still a little bit loose. And the carbon canister under here needs removing / plugging. And we have 2 and a bit weeks. Right, so this is the problem area. So this keeps blowing off, either this end or that end. So we need something to bridge this gap. So let's consult the pile of parts. I'm sure we'll probably have something in this box of bits we can do something with. So this is what we had before with a bit of a kink in it, and I'm wondering whether we can Maybe do something like that with a joiner at each end, or something a bit more flexible. I'll have a fiddle off camera and we'll see. Things are settled on. Hard pipe 9 degrees, and then really over the top sleeve, really cramped down, so give that a go in a bit. But first, drilled a hole in here. Hopefully going to thread this through to tighten this on. There we go, that is threaded through there. Let's see up here. It's all the way up there. There's my finger up here. Ooh. And now it goes up and down a bit, but it's not going anywhere else. One last thing. I quickly put a bit of gold tape on that just to keep the intake temperatures as low as possible. Should probably put more on, but that's all going to change. Coolant back in there. Time to jump around to do some more other random stuff. I think I've bodge fixed the bonnet release as well, so that plastic bit is cracked. So I've cable tied each side of it. So if I now pretend lock the it's very hard to do one-handed. Go this way. There we go, that is locked as though it would be. Can we zoom in and see it from here? Right, here we go. Jobs are good. And we're also clear for ventilation now, which is good. Definitely did wash. Welcome to the wheel arch of the car, where we're also going to replace this brake caliper, which is the only one that was actually decent. But because of changing all the others, we've got new ones for the front as well. So we will try and get this one off. Oh, moving the car relatively easily, but I think like the others, it is, whilst it's not rounded yet, very close to being rounded. And that made an awful crunching sound, like I'd snapped it. So let's hope that isn't the case. Yep, let's come out. New one. Let focus. It's not a lot of brake fluid coming out of it, which is not a great sign. That's why I actually put it back in the right hole. Life tip. How is this not? The replacements, not an 8 mils, I think it's a 7. Looks like I need to buy myself a 7 mil spanner. Because all I've got is a 7 mil socket. Right, that's on. That needs bleeding, which I will do off camera because you've seen me bleed this car many, many times now. And the other side. So, oh. Baby monitor's beeping. This side is rounded. So, same deal again. Oh, this one's full of fluid. put it in the right way. Next on the list is try and fix this crunchiness, because I'm pretty sure I've caught something in the steering column somewhere. So. Oh, that's disappointing if it's just that. No, I'm leaning on the... I think it is literally just this pipe. There it is. Right, time to unthread all this then. There we go. Oh, disappointingly, I thought I trapped the airbag squib in there, but guess not. Because I thought that'd be why the airbag's light's not working. Chaos resumes on another day. So the battery's on trickle charger because there's definitely something draining the battery. But that starts again now, so that runs all the way off into the house. We are going to try and swap, oh that's quite warm, the ECU set over. Trying not to knock everything. So we have ECU, BCM, which goes inside the car, and then the key with the immobiliser chip in it. We're not going to do the whole barrel because I don't want to change all the door locks as well. Plus, that's a faff to do. So this you should just swap out with that one relatively easily. I have labelled the original set 2. ECU's under the bonnet, and then I showed doing this in a previous video, so we're just going to cut to it all being done. Quickly in between these two, everything else is identical, but this is clearly number 3. That's number 4. So this is the old set. So all we're going to do is that. Then we keep the old key blade. That, put it back together. Bam. Bam. Right. That is old immobiliser, new key, new immobiliser, old key. There's the old ECU and BCM, clearly not connected. Can't do this, whatever, do my hand. Good start. Now, I don't know if that's pure chance, but that started a heck of a lot easier than the old one. So I have a feeling that old one definitely had some dodgy map on it. Maybe it was map for injectors, which this engine doesn't have anymore. We will see. This will probably just start dying in a second now anyway, just prove me wrong. It's running a little high to start with, but then that ECU's not been powered for, could be multiple years. And now it's sort of settling down to its normal intended idle of about that position. Dare I give it a little bit of throttle, see if it dies like the old one. Well, no worse than the old one. Wipers. No wipers. Maybe. There we go. So I can wipe my windscreen at full beam. But the wiper stick does nothing. He's running low. Right, so we are going to wrap up the exhaust for both heat and safety, because I don't trust this and all this. So we're just going to wrap it around all the joints, so if something does break, it'll be all good, hopefully. I've already cut my head under here, but let's see what I'm actually doing. So not like that. There we go. Right, so this is the titanium. Like, the reason I kept my head was on this, because if I turn my head flat, my head's rubbing on the exhaust. Bear in mind, this is as far as my jack will jack this up this side, so not ideal. Need a better jack. Well, I don't need a better jack, I need a jack that can lift it higher off the ground. And yeah, we are just using this, I don't know, it's titanium something or other exhaust wrap, and we are just wrapping it around exhaust and the joint, and then I'm going to use metal cable ties to screw it. Right, and it looks really messy on camera. Well, I think that's the texture of the thing, but it doesn't look too bad in person. So let's put some metal cable ties on here, just to hopefully stop it all from unwinding itself. One there. Let's put one before and after the joints. Seems sensible to me. I'm not sure it's going to come off anyway, but there we go. So I'll probably keep carrying this on a bit off camera, because this is horrendously painful. I'm surprised my head's not bleeding any more than it is. And yeah, that's the exhaust, partially heat wrapped. Basically back, I can't even turn my head, it's so tight. Like, put my hand here. It's back behind where the rear seats are, because I can see the bolts for the harnesses. So, yep, we'll carry on. I hate this. We also need to secure the ECU, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 2 holes in here for those 2 bolts. Sure, of course, different sizes. And we're just going to bolt it in like that. Keep it nice and vertical. Safe-ish. It'll have to deafen out. We ain't got time. DIY ECU mount. There we go, I've got one of the holes in, using an old seat bolt on it. That is not going anywhere. Something else to add to the list. My auxiliary belt is, well, was very cracked, but now it has this fantastic groove in it that's appeared. And that's a result of, wherever it is, this chestnut. Thank you, oil cooler clip, for coming off and doing that. We're also going to fit these quick, easy bumper detach bits, because my bumpers are constantly coming on and off, and also race car. These are from Pit King. Bought these from Demon Tweaks, who are sponsors. Very simple. Drill a hole. Washer and nut on the backside, and then in a few minutes you have something that looks like this, and then you can easily take this off, but it gives it enough rigidity that it's staying where it is. Right, so we do all that everywhere. So yes, I've just done this one, and this is the bumper. Normally this would have, probably remember from earlier videos, but it screws into the bottom, 2 bolts there and there, and then 1 through the wheel arch here, which is an absolute pain to do because you get in there. So this will make it a lot easier, but to get it fitting, I'm just going to eyeball where some tension, do about there, and then I'll just get the drill and then washer on the back and that, and I cannot do this one-handed, so we'll come back in a second. Right, and then hopefully, there you go. That's just going to keep it from popping out anywhere. I should really fix the paint, but also it's filthy. Yes, and then place upside down. Hello. This is not my cat. Who are you? Next on the list, some new spark plugs, because I don't know the state of the ones that are in here, because I've never actually checked. So we'll get them all out, change them all. We've got some new HT leads on their way as well. So the only thing left of this will be this, and I've got a spare of that in case it is still a bit wonky. I'm not going to show you how to do this. Done it in a previous video, but 14mm thin wall socket, undo, screw up, screw back in, done. Old one, very oily, probably not a great sign, a bit crusty. New one. So we'll keep, I'm going to swap these over one by one, but I'll keep the four that came out like that. We'll see what they're like at the end. Alright, so that's the state of the old one, cylinder 4, 3, 2, 1. Definitely seen better days. At least they're all the same. Trusty Haynes manual to the rescue. I forgot how much of a pain this is. This is my specialist tool, which is a T50 Torx bit taped into an 8mm ratchet spanner to fit down there to loosen that silver Torx bolt, which just holds the tensioner on. Now you should replace this at the same time, but I don't have one. But I do have a spare belt, so we're going to get this off, and then we're going to replace it with, oh yeah, that belt, which is off the engine that went kaboom, which is in much better state. I do not have time for it to be raining. Right, indicator is also not working, so I need to get that out somehow. Which one is it? It's this one up here. I should just pull out, swap that out. Engine bay is sort of all done. I might put some heat tape on here. This, I think, is still leaking every now and then, so it needs a bit of a tighten up. And then need to spray the inside, which I'll do in this perfect weather. Right, into the emergency car box. This looks like a new one, but to be honest, this one doesn't look too bad. But we'll swap it over anyway, and we'll see what happens. Although this is surely not an amber one. Surely. Do we have any other spares? I bet we don't. I bet we don't. I just remembered in my pile of parts, Matt gave me this one. So, and this does have an amber one in. Oh god, so much stuff. Well, it's not flashing like mad. Fixed. Right, now to paint that quickly, because that looks awful. This is absolutely not the right weather to do this in, but there's no guarantee it's actually going to be dry between now and Saturday, so needs must. We'll do another coat later when it's a bit drier from the inside. Right, one of the last things to do is we have some new HT leads to replace the original ones of unknown quality and date. These are from Mr. Retro leads. Does them in all fancy colours, high performance, whatever that means for HT leads. There appears to be 3 the same length and 1 slightly longer, so I assume the longer one is cylinder 4, but I'm just going to replace them one by one. They literally just pop off, pop on. So yeah, we'll do that. Right, we'll do them one by one to stop getting confused. So there we go. That's a very short one compared to this one. And click. What's the next one? Number 2. Make sure I don't accidentally put the real long one in. Click. Click. 3 goes under the intake pipe. And number 4. Oh, they're already getting mucky. There we go. We'll sort that out later. Messy. Let's hope it still works. Cleaning time. Powered by the electric car. And there we go. It's washed and ready to go. So next time we'll see it, we'll hopefully be on track. Sorry? Yep.